Okay, the aircraft is on a radial of 240 degrees on a heading of 230 degrees magnetic. CDI is showing 2 fly right indication. Flag is a firm flag. As I said, nothing is mentioned. Always go for a 5 system. If it's a 4 system, they will mention that. Variation, mean variation is given as 5 degrees east. You're asked to find out a series of values here. OBS radial, type of sensing, ADF indication. You're asked to find out the QJ, QTE, QDR, QDM. It's not a tricky question, only it's a bit different parameters are asked, that's all. I'll give you some time, 60 seconds again. The aircraft is moving away. Very good. Now if you have that information with you, and if you combine that with the flag information here, what can you see?
So the flag is from.
That's
so
right.
Away from the station and with a from flag, that means it's command sensing.
Very good, yes. You see how we are getting proficient in VOR? Yes, command sensing, yes.
For 5 days.
So trust me, it's not very easy. You go and ask this around to your fellow friends or people who are doing the training and stuff right now, and even to some people who end up teaching because they have nothing to do after the training and they decide to teach just like that, and you go and ask these things to them, they're like poof. No. Yeah. So you see, Charan, who was your Charan, right? Charan, who was there one of? Yeah. He was there for Met. Yes. Yeah. I think he was also there for NAV. I think with all of you together, Jayashree.
Sorry, he was in NAV class.
NAV, yes. Right. So he came to me the day before the exam because he was with some other mushroom ground class. And then he came back the day before the exam and he said, "Sir, I just want a brief 1 hour class on VOR because VOR is confusing." And I started taking, and when I started explaining the concepts of flag, he came up with the exact idea which you came up with initially. That from flag is like from the station, to flag is to station. Sensing, he has not even heard about reverse sensing in the first place. So tomorrow is the exam. And his concept of flag is completely upside down because he was taught that you see from flag you're going from the station. You see to flag you're moving to a station. And I told him, stop, I'm not going to take you now for 1 hour. I don't want to completely confuse you. Drop your confidence down, and that's not going to help anyway for the exam tomorrow. So just go write the exam. If you fail, that's fine. I can help you out after that. And that's how we came back to the NAV session where we were doing it together that time. So it is terrible that people who teach, so the students might forget it, might go wrong, that's fine. But people who teach should not be in a position teaching if they're not really sure about most of these things, right? But there are people around who is terrible.
If they give you the wrong context, they carry
Yeah,
it for
that's right. Correct. Because they themselves is not really aware of, because they don't read around, they don't do the homework properly. So teaching also requires some homework. See, even though I have been teaching for so long, there's a butterfly in my stomach before every single session. I'll be like, okay, I have to turn back, at least see a couple of things before I come in front. So what happens is that gives you that kind of confidence to teach and kind of make sure that you know what you're doing, right? Yeah, so perfect, that's it. Command sensing, that's right here. So you see how combination of information can help you out with this. Perfect, now that's it. Now what else do I need to find out the RBI indication, sorry, the OBS radial? How can I find the OBS radial?
So here, OBS radial is, it's a 2 degrees, 2 dots fly right indication.
That's right. So what is missing here is this one. So 2 dots fly right indication, yes, which means?
We are to the left.
We are to the left. Why? Because of the command sensing, you have to fly right, which means I am to the left, right? So any a needle is going to be on this side of your indicator because it is asking you to fly right, and I have to fly right. Yes, perfect. So it's right by 2 dots. This is the first. So this is one thing. Another area where you go wrong is it's 2 dot. This is the first dot. Don't forget that. Don't jump up to first dot here and second dot here, and this is second dot. No. That is the third dot, right? Fourth, fifth one. 2, 3, 4, fifth one. So you can see fly right means the needle has to be 1, 2. It has to be exactly here. This is a fly right indication. Now, do you have to fly right or left depending upon sensing? And since it is a command sensing here, I have to fly right.
Yes.
Right? Perfect. All right, now what is the error I'm looking at between my radial and the OBS radial? So it's a second dot, 2 dot. On a 5 dot system, remember if nothing is mentioned, it's always a 5 dot system. 2 dots correspond to 2 into 2, which is 4 degrees. Right, so this corresponds to 4 degrees. Your radial is off from the selected or required radial by 4 degrees. Right, what radial are you on?
So your voice is cutting off. I'm on a radial of 40.
Can you hear me now?
And I have to fly 2 degrees right.
Yeah, so my radial is 240. So let's draw the radial of 240. Let's draw the VOR here. A radial of 240 is like this. This is the radial 240. This is where the aircraft is on a heading of 230, which means the aircraft has to be like this. Can you hear me now properly? Is my audio clear? Yeah, 230 heading and 240 degrees the radial of the aircraft. Now this indication says that the OBS radial is 4 degrees off from the required radial. So where is the OBS radial? And I have to fly right if I want to catch or capture the OBS radial. So the OBS radial has to be somewhere to the north of the required radial for me to fly right. And command sensing, right? So the OBS radial is somewhere here. That's right. And what is this angle? 2 dot system. 2 dot, 5 dot system. So it's 4 degrees. Yes, it's going to be 2, 4, 4. It's just exactly opposite to the previous question, is it? Somewhat? No. Hold on. 2, 4, 4 degrees. That answers your first question. Therefore, what is the OBS? The OBS is 2, 4, 4 degrees. What is the type of sensing? You already told me that. It's a command sensing. What is the ADF indication? Let me, okay, talk to me about the flag here.
So we are flying, okay, so we are on the head side.
That's right. We are on the head side.
And it's a from.
Exactly. This is the tail side. On the from side, you are moving from the station. So from for from. That is why again you can see it's the command sensing here, and therefore it's going to be a from flag. Which of this flag is the from flag? Yeah. So what's the flag? It's a from flag.
Command sensing and from.
Which of this is from? Which of these flags should I shade?
The lower.
The lower one. Perfect. Right. Now, ADF indication. So if you have an NDB here associated with this VOR, then you'll have an ADF on board the aircraft to kind of use it, and the ADF as an RBI will indicate relative bearing, and RMI will indicate the QDM. Yes. So tell me, what is the RBI going to indicate?
So we are going away from the station with a 10 degrees starboard drift. It will be 190.
That's right. The head of the RBI indicates 0 and the relative bearing is going to be 190. You can see that here. This is actually 10 degrees of starboard drift. Therefore, this angle is also 10. In case of RBI, the head is 0, therefore tail is 180, and therefore this 180 plus 10, and therefore it's going to indicate 190. What if we have on board VOR but not a CDI indication, a VOR RMI indication, or if you have an ADF RMI? What is the head of the RMI?
It will indicate the heading.
That's right.
230.
230.
And the needle will indicate the track. The track is
What track?
zero track to the station.
Which is
060.
QDM. And that is going to be exactly opposite 240 because you're moving away from the station now. Therefore, that is going to be 060. 60 degrees. What will the tail of the RMI indicate?
Just a second, sir. The heading is 230.
That's right.
So, it will be, the QDM will be exactly opposite will be 050. and will be 060.
That's right.
On the lead.
060 on the QDM will be 060. Or you can simply take the heading, add the relative bearing of 190, you'll get the QDM again, right? Perfect. So exactly opposite to 180, and you add 10, you'll get 50 plus 10, 60. All right. What about the tail of the RMI?
240.
That's QDR, which is going to indicate the radial, which is 240. So what is the QDM? QDM is 060 degrees magnetic track to station. What is QDR? QDR is plus 180, which is 240 degrees magnetic track from the station. The question, you're also asked to find out QUJ and QTE. How will you find out?
5 degree east variation, so QUJ is 065.
That's right. Again, as you have rightly thought about it earlier, since only one variation is given, that's fine. But if you have two variations, you have to use a variation at the VOR, not at the aircraft. In case of an NDB based system, you have to use the variation at the aircraft, not the NDB. And we know the reason why. So 5 degrees east variation, what is QUJ? It is the true track to the station.
065.
06. 5 degrees east means magnetic is lesser, right? Therefore the 065 degrees. So remember, degrees east variation means your magnetic north is east of true north, giving it a lower value. Right. Now how will I find QTE? I can find QTE by applying variation to QDR or by simply finding the reciprocal of QUJ. Right? Let's apply variation here. 5 degrees east again. What is QTE? QTE is true track from the station. That is 240 plus 5, which is 245 degrees. True, you can see this is simply connected by 180 degrees. So you can find out either ways. So that answers all the sub questions: OBS, type of sensing, ADF indication, QUJ, QTE, QDR, QDM. Additionally, we have also seen how the different dials looks like. Are you copying these diagrams as well alongside as we draw it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Don't miss anything, huh? Because you might understand it now. Probably you might get a bit confused later on. So make sure you have all those things